Okay, no, we're good. I think we're good.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, NBs of all ages, welcome back to the Corporate Esports Association League of Legends Tournament. My name is PhiNick, joined on the desk today by Thousand Eyes, and it's been a hot minute. Had a tree fall on power lines last week. Tropical storm hit Georgia very hard somehow, but we're here. We're in the consolation bracket, round 3 of that, to get Battlefly Airlines versus Team Slalom Mid. Not that TSM, but probably going to do, a little bit better than TSM did at Worlds here, as it were. Thousand, how are we feeling?
Doing all right. It's no longer solo mid because Bjergsen retired, so they had to change the name. And here we are.
Team Slalom just dodging out of the way.
Yep.
Scion Speedway, essentially. That's what this is.
Yeah.
Gosh, I remember Scion Speedway. Can we get that back?
Good times.
Can we get back Scion Speedway? Anyway, I'm excited. This is the last week of the kind of pre-playoffs bracket at the moment. Up at the top, looking at standings, as it were, 2 weeks ago, we were casting the Amazon stock diff versus, I believe, Google working from home match in placements here. And if we're looking at standings up there, Google working from home did win last week. So they are currently in a four-way tie for second with Amazon, or at the top of the bracket with Amazon stock diff up there in number 1. But that was, I believe, round 2. They were able to beat Facebook, Instagram, another team that we were able to cast earlier this season. So I'm looking forward to the playoffs, but right now we're in the consolation bracket. These teams not going to be able to make it into playoffs. However, we have been requested to cast these guys because they've been wanting to get casted for a while, and who are we if not to oblige? So game 1, blue side, I believe, is going to be Battlefly Airlines, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and considering that this game doesn't have a whole lot of weight to it, I'm kind of excited to see if we're just going to see some really wild picks. Like, both these teams wanted to be casted, wanted to be on stream, so it's clear that they feel like they have stuff they want to show off. We could just get some really interesting and weird picks, or just something really wild from a composition standpoint.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Lots of off-meta picks here, as these players are pretty much low elo, except for the 1 Diamond 2 player sticking out like a sore thumb here on the side of Team Slalom Mid. That said, Battlefly Airlines, Battlefly, a service that I think both of us have used in the past for several events outside of CEA, and it's one of those kind of things. It's nice to be able to, give back to those who have given us so much in that regard. Hashtag not biased. That said, talking about these teams, it's also time to talk about the charities, of course. Battlefly Airlines is supporting the California Fire Foundation due to the raging fires that were happening in California earlier in the year, and they think that it's worth supporting the firefighters that do so much year after year, really, because wildfires pop up pretty much every year, right? Major ones this year, but it's a very important part of kind of the natural cycle of the forest, as well as being able to maintain that so people are able to live their lives. So very, very nice there. And from Team Slalom Mid, they are, I believe, playing for, let me bring it up right here, sorry about that, the National Ovarian Cancer Coalition. And they are also sponsored, or I should say the National The National Ovarian Cancer Coalition is also sponsored by collegiate organizations, and one of the top foundations, and the National Ovarian Cancer Coalition is one of the top foundations that raise money for that illness and cure. So I'm hoping to speak with both these captains, or the winning captain, I should say, about charity after the event. But for the time being, let's talk about these players. Anyone that pops out to you for either of these teams?
I mean, obviously, we do have Dason, who's the Diamond 2 player, will be playing AD carry as opposed to his main role of support. So, going to be a little bit less, little bit out of his comfort zone. I'm also just really excited for his actual support, Cosmic Meat, because that is a Bard one-trick player, and I am also a Bard main. So, that is definitely one that I'm really, really excited to see. Probably will be banned, but that is gonna be there. There's also Crash and Burn, who plays a lot of Riven and is a very aggressive laner. Just takes a lot of times will take the ignite just to try and win lane really hard. And that's a really exciting kind of thing to see, especially in a meta where we pretty much only see top laners take teleport. So there's going to be a lot of interesting things kind of going on in here.
Yeah, conversely, in that top lane, though, we have Strider, who we were, looking at how this guy plays. Yorick, Alawi, Urgot also plays a lot of split pushers, but more towards that tankier side. I think that's going to be a matchup to watch, especially when we get into the mid game where both the styles of champions start really coming online. If Strider's able to kind of maintain evenness or even grab a lead, I think that's going to be kind of like his time to shine, start split pushing, right? Especially at lower elos, that strategy ends up paying dividends if your team is practiced on it.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're looking also just at, you have a lot of engaged support opportunity. I do believe Meowington is the support listed, but there's a lot of engaged supports listed. You have the Thresh, the Blitzcrank, the Nautilus. It's a lot of hook champions, a lot of we're gonna grab you and we're gonna win off of that pick. So expect to see a lot of pick compositions on Battlefly's side.
Yeah, and I'm definitely excited. Finally have a little bit more information from the Battlefly captain here, as we are waiting on one more person from Team Slalom mid. Obviously, Battlefly is an organization that works with esports leagues kind of at all ranges, all the way from gold, silver, up to the top, right? In leagues such as the Upsurge Premier League, right? They up until recently had used Battlefly as their primary platform, among others. And they work with companies like Riot Games, Blizzard, EA, Nintendo, and more. And it's a great place to look for tournaments if you are into that thing. So thank you very much, Battlefly. And on the side of Team Slalom Mid, they are the representation from Slalom Build, which is a consulting firm that specializes in cloud computing. Their team is comprised from people from build centers all around the US as well. So I'm excited to see kind of what they were looking, or what both these teams can do. Slalom Build, I was looking at the website earlier. Basically, so there's like cloud computing and stuff like that, but they also kind of empower makers, if I'm not mistaken, to kind of achieve projects using their services, which is really nice. All that being said, though, we're gonna have to take a quick break as we still are waiting on a player to load in, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more of the Corporate Esports Association Constellation Bracket Week 3 matchup. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, NBs of all ages, welcome back to the Corporate Esports Association Consolation Bracket match number 3, or I should say week number 3 matchup between Battlefly Airlines and Team Slalom Mid. And we are just about ready to go into the draft. There has been a substitution in from Team Slalom Mid, which has put Electric Spinach from jungle into mid lane and Walking Cheese from mid into AD carry. Mushimu will be stepping in for jungle. Very similar champion pool to Electric Spinach. Very similar. Lots of Kane.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of Kane.
Just lots of Kane. That's all that matters.
That said, I honestly have no idea what Electric Spinach is going to play mid, and what Walking Cheese is going to play
There's
ADC.
Yone. I see some Yone.
Yeah, you know what? We see some Yone. You know, it's going to be the most anime matchup of all time. Right?
So yeah. Quick checking on it. There's some Yone. There's some Kiana. There's some Akali.
There's Galio.
Don't ruin my fun, man.
That said, so Walking Cheese, Walking Cheese, as it were, doesn't play ADC.
Well, no time like the present.
Like looking through, right? This guy plays Lysandra. He plays Azir. He plays
some Jhin.
Some cat. I'm scrolling down. I don't see any Jhin right now, but maybe I'm
Walking Cheese. I'm looking at the total number here. There's some Kaisa, some Jhin, some Lucian. There's a little bit there. Just it's not recent.
I mean, he's played Yasuo mid. We might see Yasuo bot. I mean, like he doesn't even play bot laners that are or like mid laners that are considered like mage bot laners. Like there's no Syndra, there's no Veigar. Like there's one game of Cassiopeia, I guess. Okay, I see some Senna in here. Normal 2 months ago could be there. I mean, we'll see. It's a spicy matchup. This matchup reminds us of the gold games we typically cast, so right back at home here. I am, for one, very excited.
I can feel the faith draining out of you as you go further and further.
Look, okay, Spinach. I'm not ripping apart your champion pool on stream. We just saw the Yone. We're just like, all right. We already know you're a Bard one trick. All right. I'm excited. I like Bard. Thousands of Bard main. You know, you gotta show us the Bard.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we are just currently waiting for the Champ Select to start up. And we should be just getting in fairly shortly.
Look, I'm caffeinated. I'm ready to go. My coffee is like opened up my throat, so I can belt out them bellows, and we're finally in the draft here. So they were kind of memeing in chat about not banning anything. Now, if that were the case, that would be kind of the ultimate meme.
That would kind of be funny.
I would totally be fine with that.
I'd be down for it.
I would be so down.
Nope, there we go. Yeah, there's the Zillion, and that is to be expected. That is one Cosmic Meep does play a good bit of. Daosin also had that, so I'm also wondering if they're not adjusting to the fact that Daosin is not in the lineup. It looks like Daosin is actually a one-trick Zillion player, and maybe due to that, Cosmic Meep has a lot of Zillion backup.
Oh, Yorick ban. I wanted to see Yorick. Yep. Oh, there's the Bard.
Yeah, and there's the Bard.
Give us the Cosmic
Unfortunate.
Meeps.
Unfortunate. Right. Yeah, but the Yorick being taken away from Striders. So that is one of his most played champions, actually. Pretty much like literally going down, just last 10 games are only Yorick. So understandable to want to take that away. The Galio down, the Kane we mentioned. There's a lot of just target bans right now.
Yeah, I mean, to be expected that at this elo, right, meta doesn't really matter all that much. It's
Correct.
mostly about banning away comfort, right? This Kane towards Mushimu directly. It's like this guy's basically only played Kane. Let's get him on something else, right? If Electric Spinach were there, that would probably also be an Evelyn ban potentially. We see the Caitlyn being banned away. So walking cheese, like, so if you're banning away Caitlyn, it tells me you probably don't want to play Ashe. I don't see Ashe. I don't see Jhin. We'll see. Thresh could be the first pick though for
Yeah.
Meowington. I
Yeah.
like
The
it.
the Caitlyn, so the Caitlyn actually is Unleashen's top champion. So it's not unheard of to just ban that for the same thing as the comfort pick that we talked about. So the Ashe still could be a possibility here. But Walking Cheese has a lot of Lucian games because he is generally a mid laner. The Nami is going to be taken actually here, which is surprising as a first pick. Don't If you're going to pick Nami, I feel like that's one you can, just wait till the next rotation.
I
Because
mean,
that is not going to get taken away and not really going to get
unless you're holding
banned.
ADC. If you're holding ADC, I think you just have to do it here. There's the Nocturne.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because they want to counterpick ADC most likely.
I just don't think there's a lot of like with Caitlyn out, there isn't a whole lot of like ADC counterpicking to be done. I'd rather counterpick the jungle, to be honest. But regardless, it is the Nocturne coming through, Hecarim as well, and Twisted Fate going to be picked here, so they can pick their mid laner in response. They're hovering the Akali, and I'm not really sure about that.
Woo!
I don't particularly think the Akali matchup into Twisted Fate is favorable. Obviously, Akali has the Shroud to keep herself safe, but if you show up for a split second, that gold card is going to go right on top of you.
Yeah, and it really comes down to kind of mechanics from Axion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like something, especially as a Twisted Fate player, and a lot of mid laners aren't used to this, but he has played a lot of Twisted Fate, so I assume that he is using your attack move key. So what you do if Akali goes into the Shroud here, there's another toggle that is basically target champions only. So what you do is you when Akali goes in a Shroud and you have gold card up, right? You basically toggle that and then just spam your A key, and then want this frame that she's out of Shroud, you'll be able to gold card her, right? It really depends on if Action's able to know how to do that interaction and has the keybinds to do it. A lot of players, especially in low elo, don't really use attack move click all that often, but if you're playing an auto attack reliant champion, such as Twisted Fate in the mid lane or basically ADC, it's kind of a skill that you need to learn and need to use. I'm expecting that to be used here. I'm also expecting Common and not Omnistone, but I could be wrong. Vladimir Shen being banned away, as well as this Urgot and Ezreal. So top lane, so we see the Urgot ban, we see the Yorick ban. That leaves Sion. Probably got to get picked up here as we see the Lucian coming in for Walking Cheese in the bot lane.
Gonna be the Lucian coming through. That's a comfort pick there, and the Kai'Sa's being hovered in response. I actually kind of would have liked to see the Samira, because blocking gold cards from TF is very good. Samira is capable of doing that. The Alawi's going to be taken here, and now it is going to be the counter pick available for Crash and Burn. What is going to be taken up here? That I don't know what he's going to pick, because really next on his list is basically like Malphite at a few games.
I mean, there's Riven. Yeah,
Riven's going to be, you just take it anyway.
I mean, I would never take Malphite into Alawi just because she feeds on that. I think if you're gonna pick a bruiser, you want to be able to pick one that doesn't have a huge health pool, because Alawi
it's just every
on that.
matchup into Alawi is rough, and Riven is a champion that wants to win lane hard. She wants to get in and fight you and mess you up, and Alawi's like, that's totally fine. Stick right on top of me. I don't care. So that is going to have to be a very carefully played matchup for Crash and Burn. You're also looking at, there's a Hecarim on the map versus a Nocturne. Nocturne's going to be focusing on just farming up, and Nuke Dance House is going to be able to gank a lot more frequently in the early game. So there is a lot of pressure on Crash and Burn to be able to handle that jungle pressure, handle that rough lane matchup. There isn't really a top side win condition here. Mushimu's going to have to play very safe with the Alawi the Twisted Fate, Akali's going to get pushed in early on. And then Kai'Sa versus Lucian. Lucian should have the advantage there, but even there, the Thresh can really mix things up and cause that lane to go south versus Anami.
Yeah, and it's a Lucian Nami lane, right? Like,
Yeah.
one of the classic combinations with Lucian, besides Lucian Braum. So I do want to see some early aggression come out of this. Nami, not someone you typically think of as an aggressive champion, but when played with Lucian, can put a lot of aggression, especially towards Thresh, who doesn't really have a good way to deal with bubbles. It's not like he's playing into another hook champion or like a hard engaged support where he's able to play them away. He has to be able to predict when bubbles are going to happen and be able to counter with a hook. Otherwise, he will end up having his AD carry chunked out for a lot in this early phase, as we already mentioned with that Lucian. I want to go back to the top lane matchup though. So the pick here from Strider was either going to be Alawi or Sion, right? And I'm honestly curious as to why they decided to pick the Alawi blind. I think Alawi's more of a counter pick, but like, what's your kind of take on this, actually?
I think part of it is just knowing Crash and Bird's champion pool. Alawi, like I mentioned, Alawi just wants to fight people early. She doesn't care if you are a, strong laner, because she's going to rip your soul out your body and then smash you a bunch with the tentacles. Like, people who want to stay on top of her, that just means that she gets to hit two people. She gets to hit you twice. It's not almost every matchup in the top lane in lane is a win for Alawi if you're able to pull the souls correctly. Now, if Strider's not able to get those souls, that is a downtime period where Crash and Burn can all in and just mess Alawi up. So that's going to be the big key in that top lane, as is every Alawi matchup. Are you going to rip the soul out, or if you miss, can the opponent take advantage of that downtime on that cooldown?
And I think the onus of this really comes on the Crash and Burn, right? Like, it is a dodgeable skill shot. Riven does have the tools to dodge that in theory. However, you have to be more reactive than proactive in this lane if you want to come out ahead as the Riven, which is kind of antithesis to what Rivens typically do. If you want to play a reactive type bruiser, you're going to play Fiora, right? Or you're going to play Jax. You're not going to play Riven. And so here, when you're playing this kind of proactive style up into an Alawi who feeds on that, it can be very dangerous. So we talked about this top lane matchup quite a bit. We've talked about the bot lane a little bit. We talked about the jungle matchup a little bit. We talked about the mid lane a little bit. So now it's time to talk about the win conditions here. What do you see as the primary win conditions and secondary win conditions for both these teams as we are loading in?
I think for Battlefly, it's going to be about getting the jungle pressure to allow this Alawi to really just snowball this lane, because if Riven falls behind, she's not going to be very useful as a champion. You have the tools to do so. You have a Twisted Fate, you have a Hecarim. Both of them want to travel to other lanes and just get in enemies' faces early. The Kai'Sa and the Thresh, the Kai'Sa is basically the late game scaling, just kind of your insurance. The Twisted Fate, you can see that has the Summoner Spellbook. Lots of ability to just kind of get around the map, has teleport. Twisted Fate is just going to be trying to focus on whichever lane is ahead and shove this Akali in. The less actions playing against Electric Spinach, the better it's going for Battlefly. But on the opposite side, you've got a lot of squishy kind of like outplay assassins. There's going to be a lot of individual agency for Team Slalom mid. The Nocturne has to farm early. There has to be some kind of winning lane for him to be able to just farm up, hit that level 6 point, and then Nocturne can kind of follow where Twisted Fate is going and make things harder for him to actually snowball those other lanes.
And we are now into the game. On the blue side, it is Battlefly Airlines. Strider in the top lane, Nuke Dan's house in the jungle, action in the mid lane, Unleashing the D, also known as the D, in the AD carry position, and Meowington in support.
And we have Team Slalom mid on the red side, and I will hold off.
Oh yeah, looking at the invade, but the counter's already there. Meowington has the flash out of the way, but he's already dead. Crash and Burn ignited up, but he will stay alive as Mushimu ends up kiting as well. And first blood goes over to Team Slalom mid. A good read on that invade, and a great bubble from Cosmic Meat to start us off.
Yeah, so Crash and Burn in the top side, Mushy Moo in the jungle, Electric Spinach in the mid lane, and Walking Cheese and Cosmic Meep on the bottom side there. And Electric Spinach getting that initial start there, that is very, very good. It's going to mean that you have the extra long sword. There's a little bit more ability to push that wave a little bit. You're going to get to that Gunblade quicker, which is such a crucial, crucial item for Akali. Once she gets that, she just pops off until the later portions of the game. That is very, very huge, and everybody getting a little bit of assist gold doesn't hurt either.
Yeah, that's already looking at a 600 gold lead before any minions are taken, as we see both junglers starting towards the bottom side of the map. Nothing too surprising here, as we kind of talked on earlier. Top lane's going to be a focus from both these teams, just due to the nature of both these champions. They want to get ahead. They want to be able to split push and force rotations in that mid to late game. Crash and Burn, though, able to punish some of Alawi's pre-level 3 passiveness. So good start from that Riven at the moment. And Team Slalom mid, solid starts to the game in general. I am looking forward to see how this one plays out.
Yeah, Crash and Burn understanding that matchup, showing that he is really kind of aware of what he needs to do before Alawi hits that level 3, level 2 point even. Like, there is just, ooh, good hook.
Nice hook into the play. Walking Cheese down to 100 health as the flash out of the way. Meowington looking for a follow-up play at the moment, as that is coming off cooldown, but yeah, you have to be very careful as the Lucian here, especially if the Nami's not reacting quickly enough. You need to either be super aggressive with the Nami or super reactive. You can't be in the middle.
Yeah, and that was a really good bubble. That bubble actually saved Walking Cheese there. So, and it's not the end of the world because there is a heal on that champion with the Nami. Crash and Burn once again just really going aggro here, knowing he has to get ahead early and get that health advantage so that he can zone off Strider from any kind of level 3 duel that he would try and force.
Yeah, we see both junglers positioning towards that top side of the map as they look to fight all over the Scuttle Crab. Nukedan's house, though, is like, I can't take that fight. Don't have lane priority. You can have the Scuttle Crab. As Electric Spinach actually gets chunked out quite a bit mid here. I didn't quite see what caused that.
That's just poke, I think.
Maybe. Mushy Moo's here, though, and they have the path behind. Interesting to see level 3 gank come out, and I think he's just going to sit by. Xeon knows, or I should say Action knows something's up, and he's just going to back away. Nice hook.
Ooh, good hook.
Oh, back over the wall. Can't get the flay, though, as there was a nice bubble for 2. Meowington is in a bit of trouble as Unleashing the D was exhausted up. Ignite also used there from Meowington, so no sums bought from the support from Battlefly Airlines, but Walking Cheese also without sums at the moment.
Yeah, Walking Cheese, it looks really bad just off the trade there, but these even types of trades are always going to be in favor of the team with the heal support. Cosmic Meep will be able to heal Walking Cheese up, and
they're looking for Hacker.
but these
and nice hook back into the play. No time to react for Walking Cheese. And that is a kill right on to Battlefly Airlines.
Yeah, Meowington actually picking that up, unfortunately, there. So a bit of a misstep there. But once again, just another kill. Meowington is carrying this bottom lane here. Just every hook is hitting. And despite the fact that they're going on even trades, and that should just allow Cosmic Meep to heal Walking Cheese back up, he's been so aggressive and constant with these hooks that there hasn't been the opportunity, and that is what allowed them to call the Hecarim down and say, we're going to get the kill.
Yeah, and really well done play there from Battlefly Airlines, because that was definitely something that they kind of practiced, right? Like, oh, I'm ready to go on this initiation, let's do this, right? And just really well executed from them. As you said, unfortunate to get onto the Thresh, but it's not the end of the world. Like, Thresh actually has some decent start on the early items, and that was a really nice gold card coming out from Action on Electric Spinach. If Electric Spinach was 6, that would have been even better, but, you know, both these mid laners approaching that 6th level, and Action's level 6 could be very devastating for Team Slalom mid if he's able to make things happen bot or top.
Yeah, and we saw a little bit there because of that early advantage Crash and Bird's been able to get. He's just been able to zone Strider's down
Oh, Rip
way off
Mushy.
the wave.
Spell Shield gonna be
He's
used.
not watching his
Action
map.
though in trouble though. He has to flash. Looking for the gold card. Able to get it on to Mushimu. Takes the blast cone over. Here comes Unleashin alongside Meowington. Void Seeker hits, but I'm not quite sure what Action was doing there.
He wasn't watching. He was watching where he was going to teleport. He was not watching himself.
Yeah, and that's an ult down. Speaking of ults, though, top lane, both ults used, and Crash and Burn just yeets them with the second proc of the Blade of Exile. And unfortunate for the Alawi, Meowington can't really do much on this Drake. Just going to hook it once, but that is an early lead to Team Slalom mid. Still only about 700 gold, but that Ocean Dragon does wonders for this Lucian Nami lane.
Yeah. Okay. So actually, what concerns me a little bit with that trade in the top side there, so Alawi ult is almost not useful if you do not have a soul ripped out. The way that the souls work and the tentacles work is that they will passively attack any soul that has been ripped out of somebody, and that goes for the ultimate as well. If you do not have a soul ripped out, the tentacles will only attack on the W, and that just means so much of a damage loss if you don't have that soul ripped out.
And Ellis, typically not a fan of the Bork here, but we'll be very happy to see this one being built on the ribbon as we see Walking Cheese is ignited up, but here comes Mushimu. Only has level 5, though, looking for the fear as the Hecarim's down here. Walking Cheese down to 300 health. Here comes Nuke down to the flash heal. Out from Walking Cheese, no hook to hit. And that's a flash heal burned out and time out of Mushimu for nothing. And that time advantages the Hecarim, right? The longer it takes for Mushimu to hit 6, the easier it is for the Hecarim.
Yeah. Good. Well, actually, no. Hold on. Wait. Why did Alawi get the Executioner's first item?
Riven doesn't have
I would understand that.
You see the Black Cleaver coming out. Like, she doesn't have 2 items yet. You wait until she starts building next item. Oh.
I mean, I would understand that a lot more if Riven was building it, because Alawi has a lot of healing built into her kit, but getting... That is just very confusing to me.
Paranoia.
There we go. That's what we're talking about.
Very well done. Right, like, punish the all-in from the Riven here. I was, like, waiting for Nocturne to come in, but I think he just used that and didn't do anything with it.
He did not, yeah. So that is kind of the point we were making early on, where if Riven just kind of goes all in and does not respect the soul pool and kind of plays just kind of blind Riven, that is what will happen. You will get your soul pulled out, you will get 5 tentacles thrown onto you, and you will just die.
Yeah, and this Black Cleaver start, though, kind of going back to the itemization, I quite like it up against Alawi. I think just because Alawi gets a lot of defensive stats inherently, it's very useful to get that early armor shred. That said, as you were saying, the XX calling, I think, probably a missed buy here from Strider, as well as potentially Crash and Burn needing to get that as soon as the Black Cleaver's completed before going into Death Stance. But we'll see how this lane plays out. It's 1 kill to either top laner, and the CS advantage and the golden fact still the way of the Riven. We see TF coming down here. Nami gonna get a nice ult down, and Cosmic Meep's already out of the way. Oh, Reggie action.
Reggie, no.
Reggie, no.
Pulled the Reginald there with the blue card coming out of the TF ultimate, and that is now going to be down. That buys a lot of time for this Akali, who is now up up a solid amount of farm. And we are now seeing Nukedan's house in a little bit of trouble here.
Stunned up, though. Here comes Strider, and he's got the ability to pull a Test of Spirit.
He missed it.
Was used by the Hecarim, but unfortunately, they're not able to get the Spirit down in time. Flaking to be used by Cosmic Meep to force the flash. Or I should say Meowington to force Cosmic Meep's flash, but the flash hook is a miss. Walking Cheese gets some damage down, but he is ignited up. TP being
Teleport.
channeled, though, from Electric
Kali.
Spinach. He has the ult, as Xeon will come in as well. Meowington gonna play away Electric Spinach as he is helped by the Summoner Heal, but the perfect execution gets the execution down. And here comes Mushimu off the Paranoia. Will end up with going down under tower. He's able to stay alive with just a sliver of health. The Strider gets a solo kill top lane. It's tough for support, but so many summons are burned, and here comes Nuke Dan's house. He does not have the ultimate, but he doesn't really need it. But he's in a 1v4. He just needs to get the pick on a Walking Cheese, but he can't find it.
Good hold on the dash there from Walking Cheese to make sure that he got out of that. With the Riven died through all of this too.
Yeah, as I said, top laner for support.
Yeah, I did not even notice that. So going back through all of that, as it was just really hectic there, really over aggressive from Meowington, flashed, missed the hook, and then was caught in just a really bad situation. Electric Spinach having a great teleport to come in, get the kill, get out, and then Nuke Dan's house not able to confirm the kill because the ultimate was used on the top side and actually did not get overshot it and did not get the fear, which is why Riven was able to get away. Without that ultimate, Lucian could hold on to the dash after the initial hit as Mushimu.
He's gone to Unleash and able to get the fear down, and that is going to be a dead AD carry. Nuke Dan's house, the next one to fall, actually goes down to the Nami ultimate as Meowington all alone just gets yeeted out by Electric Spinach. And thank you for the second dragon. We'll see you for the soul point, says Team Slalom mid, as they have the first lead of the game over 1,000 gold, and it will be the Infernal Soul. Great for Akali, Nocturne, and Riven, and Lucian. It's great for all of them, actually.
Yeah, and the Kaisa ultimate there going the wrong way, actually, because of the fear, was actually able to allow Nocturne to kind of just get the kill and immediately be in the rest of that fight. If Kaisa had ulted the other way, would have bought a little bit more time for the rest of the team there. And yeah, so now couple of mistakes here, over aggression, not recognizing what the back timers were and how much time they had to take that objective, costs them the second dragon now and a couple of kills. Battlefly really need to kind of step back and kind of refocus what their attention needs to be. This top lane's going well for them, so that is going to really kind of be where they need to look. And now we have another Nocturne ult that I don't know if Mushimu's super comfortable on this champion.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know either, but he's 0-4, so, and he's got a CS advantage, so he's comfortable with the style, if not the champion. Crash and Burn already popped the ulti here, and once again, as you said, you need to get the Test of Spirit pull down in order to actually make that work. As you see, Nuke clearing vision here, 3 minutes and a half on the Infernal Dragon. That said, no one's taken a Rift Herald this game, and we have 10 seconds until plates fall. So plates currently advantaged Battlefly Airlines. They are still 1,000 gold down, though, and that's not a lot if they get the kill on to Walking Cheese. But there was a great Nami ultimate from Cosmic Meat, and Electric Spinach is looking to follow up, but here comes the ult from the Twisted Fate. They get the stun on Unleash into D. Here comes the perfect execution, and the gold card not enough. The stun lands, though, as well as the flay. Cosmic Meat is looking for the chase, though. Xeon gonna go ahead and get the gold card down onto Cosmic Meep. He does get some damage with the ebb and flow, but that is a kill on the ADC. Over to Electric Spinach.
Yeah, it was a little bit too much of a bait there, as Walking Cheese had to blow a bunch just to stay alive once again. But it did work out. They did get the D down, and Walking Cheese now able to push this wave a little bit further and get fur back.
Oh man. I'm looking towards this Rift Herald, and I'm kind of surprised to see no priority put towards it. Just because that objective is so high priority and pretty much all stages of competitive, even at this elo. We see the Paranoia, though, going on to the top lane, but here comes the ulti. He's not able to get any damage, so Nuke Dan's house goes low, and he will end up falling. He gets a soul pull, though, and here comes Strider with the ultimate. Can't get more than a single kill, and it's a 2-for-1.
2-for-1, so it does work out there. Strider not able to do a whole lot with the ulti, but Crash and Burn able to get a little bit more gold for his team there. And now this Akali is 4-0. Looks real fine right now. You have all the items you need to just be a massive, massive threat on Akali. The Lucian working towards the Essence Reaver and should have that soon. It is looking to be a real solid state right now for the time being, as I don't think until the late game you are going to see Battlefly able to do a whole lot around the map.
Yeah, I mean, Team Slalom mid may be in a solid state, but maybe Battlefly Airlines can pull up the RAM disk, show them what's what here. But currently they're playing like they're a hard disk drive at the moment.
I'm going to unseat this drive at this point.
I believe it's unmount, if it's done in software. No.
Regardless, we do have the vision being cleared there, and yeah, like you kind of mentioned, I'm a little surprised to see that the Rift Herald has not been a focus.
I'm gonna pop the ulti here, as is the Nocturne flash in,
Good
but here
disengage.
Comes the disengage from the Kaisa is big, but the Nami is even bigger. Walking Cheese out with a sliver of health. Cosmic Meep has been playing so well on this Nami. Tidal wave after tidal wave after bubble. This is just so great. And now Electric Spinach is here. Finds the Hecarim. Looking for more. Can't find the 5-point strike. He looking for it. Can't get it as the fear's there for the flash. Into the perfect execution. Cosmic Meep picks up the kill. Mushimu now diving under tower. He's greeting for Nuke Dan's house. And he's like, how about no? But once again, Cosmic Meep has been so solid this entire game. Electric Spinach as well, but like, holy moly, 3-0-5 on a Nami? What?
Yeah, not just that, but just like the plays that have been made have saved people a bunch of times, have set up so many of these kills. The bubbles are just massive. The tidal waves have been perfectly placed. And just Cosmic Meep is really kind of a big part of the reason why this team is so far ahead.
Comes the TF ult, and they're able to get the soul pull through into the gold card. Crash and burn. Gonna try to dash out of the way, out of the one tentacle, but no Alawi ult to follow up.
Yeah, unfortunately, with the way that matchup works, you cannot use the Twisted Fate ult as an initiation. You need to let the Riven engage on the Alawi.
Oh, test the spirit, enter the ult. Bye-bye. TP being channeled, though, from Electric Spinach. He's looking bot side. Tidal Wave going to be used onto the Kaisas. Walking Cheese is barely alive, but here comes Nuke Dan's house. Electric Spinach is here. Goes in with a Shuriken Pit. 5-point strike. And down goes the Hecarim. The turret is so low right now as she finishes off the second proc of the perfect execution. It's 3v2 in the bot lane. I don't even know how many HP that tower has, but Strider will pick up first tower in the top lane regardless. Kali wasn't able to auto that in time. One auto from Walking Cheese, though, will take the turret. Turret for turret, top 4 jungle. And here's the thing, right? Battlefly, Strider is actually getting to win condition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is now at the point where Strider is going to be able to split push pretty effectively. There isn't going to be a whole lot to do against him. You cannot send the Nocturne top lane at this point. The more people you send, the stronger this Alawi is going to be. So it is really up to Crash and Burn to just try and salvage this lane as much as possible, because there's not really going to be a good opportunity to send help his way.
Now, meanwhile, though, I will say, despite the fact that he's kind of getting these types of fights, I would like to point out he did offer the Black Cleaver here instead of the Trinity Force before Steric's Cage. I think that's, honestly, when you're up against a team that's not stacking any armor besides the little bit that Riven's going to get for her Death Stance and other items. And, action barely stays away. Alive with a stopwatch, but the Lantern! Oh, so close.
It was so flashy. I thought he was gonna get away, but I thought he was gonna get the kill.
Here comes house, though. On a Crash and Burn, Flash gonna be forced out, but here comes the ultimate, gets the fear right back into the alcove, unleashing the D, looking for the kill, but the Riven's able to get it with the ultimate, plus the stun. The second proc was already used, but Crash and Burn's on a Nuke Dan's house. He's able to get the ignite, the stun, the double kill, and the 1v2 outplay for the Riven. showing the Riven OTPs what's what.
Yeah, and that is just the fear when you go onto a Riven like that. Kai'Sa will die very quickly. Comboed everything perfectly to get the kill on the Kai'Sa, and at that point, the healing from the Triumph and the Conqueror was just so good.
The hook play right back into the tidal wave. Oh, Meowington, you can't do that. Cosmic Beef's just too good. Turret's going down top and bot lane, but the mid lane tower will be the story here as Team Slalom mid will end up breaking all 3 outers first.
Yeah, and they're making the right call here of just ditching the bot lane here.
Here comes Nocturne, though. He's looking for the shutdown on to the Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa didn't have a shutdown, though. She was 0-5. I was thinking that was the Akali for some reason. 500 gold shutdown on the Akali. But you know what? Still a kill onto the Nocturne. His 4th of the game, Electric Spinach. Looking for Meowington. Able to get the Shuriken flip into the 5-point strike now, into the Shroud, but does get stunned up by the gold card. Has a Blast Cone. Will be able to use it and puts action right in the middle of the team. Can't even get onto the gold card in time. Mushimu picks it up, and they might actually go onto the Baron here with Lucian going over there as well.
Yeah, and just really good engages here from Electric Spinach, able to go in, do a bunch of damage and draw a lot of attention, and then as they try and follow up on it, the rest of his team is there to help him get out and confirm a couple of kills. That is the first death, and first anything for Action, actually.
Yeah.
There has not been a lot of action over towards his way, but they've been making the right call of saying this Alawi is too strong for anybody to deal with. We just ditch that lane. We let him push. Alawi is not going to split push super quickly. She takes a little bit of time to take towers. She's not, super strong at doing so. Yeah, she is not the Yorick. She is not the Jax. There's, she has the Black Cleaver instead of the Trinity Force. And here's where you use that Twisted Fate.
Here, and a nice TF ult back into the hook. That's going to be a dead Riven, but here comes the Nocturne, and Crash and Burn's out of the way. Cosmic Beep, a 3-man tidal wave, and Mushy moves out of the fight as Walking Cheese is here to do the damage. TP being channeled by the Alawi. You can't take a fight like this. Crash and Burn, though, able to get the kill onto the Kai'Sa.
Triumph.
Action in trouble, gets taken down by the Blade, and Strider, he's here with the ultimate, but it's already too late. 4 members of his team are down. He's going to get feared. He's going to go down. Triple kill for Crash and Burn, and my oh my, TSM performing way better than they did at Worlds.
Yeah, they're looking a little bit better this time around. They should have just used this roster at Worlds.
Yeah, I mean, what could possibly go wrong? I mean, jokes aside, right? Great Nocturne ult coming in from Mushy Mood, like perfectly timed on the Crash and Burn. And once again, Cosmic Meep hit 3 out of the 4 members with that tidal wave, and those are the 3 members closest to his team. Walks out of there just like, hey, my Riven's alive. She'll come back in, get a triple kill. No big, ain't no thing.
Yeah, and it looked like they kind of just backed off and were like, okay, you get the kill. And everybody did that, which is why Crash and Burn did not actually end up going down. The Alawi came down, got the ultimate there, but they made the right move. When you fight an Alawi, if she does ult in the middle of a bunch of people, you disengage. You move the fight. You force her to come to a separate area that is not that ultimate area and make her fight around there. Mushimu gonna take that, and that is also the Infernal Soul was picked up after that fight. So now you are looking at the extra burn damage on all this damage. It is late game.
In with the paranoia, in for a penny, in for the pound, I always say. And he just yeets the Kai'Sa under tower. He's like, I don't have tank stats. Doesn't matter. Here comes the TF. Able to get the stun down, but Electric Spinach is already here with Cosmic Beep. Nuke gonna try to make his way in, but it's already too late. Tidal Wave hits on to 3. The shutdown goes onto the Nocturne, but the damage is already there from the Akali Nami combo. 3 for 1 in favor of Team Slalom mid, and they're gonna push onto this bottom lane tower with this wave.
That is Hecarim getting the shutdown here, and I'm a little frustrated because initially Nuke Dance House did get the Sheen before any jungle items were finished, and then he just went for the Cinder Hulk instead of finishing the Trinity Force. And that is the cardinal sin of Hecarim. You do not finish your jungle item. You do not build anything from your jungle item until you finish that Triforce. Just pops off so hard with that item, and you don't want to put any gold into being a tank. You want to early game skirmish and blow people up with the stats that Trinity Force gets you. So frustration on that build path there it may end up hurting them a lot more the longer this game goes.
Cosmic Meep now in a bit of trouble here. Gonna pop the tidal wave onto 3, able to get himself out with the ebb and flow. Duo Q ended with 1,000 eyes. Cosmic Meep is my new duo Q buddy.
We've never duo queued.
I mean, that's true because you're plat and I'm currently silver because
I'm diamond.
I don't play ranked. Oh wait, you're diamond. That's right. You were plat, now you're diamond. Crap. Why am I so bad at League of Legends? I talk fast. That's what I do.
You're the play-by-play.
Yeah. Look. If Riv can do it, and he's like silver, so can I. That's my motto.
I think he's gold, actually.
He got gold last season, but much like me this season, he wasn't able to get back in. At least to my knowledge, he may have gotten back in recently, but like at the beginning of the season, he was struggling. But this season is tough for players who like scaling champions in any lane that isn't bot. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Next season though, season 11 items. Gonna see, you know, Anivia's back. Get a tier on start. Gets half the mana. Doesn't matter. You get it for the refund passive anyway. Mashimu. Now, gonna pop the Paranoia. Hecarim pops the ult, but gets out damaged anyway.
Hecarim gets popped.
yeah. Hecarim gets popped. Pop, as it were. Meanwhile, the Infernal Soul did go over. I did not even catch that.
I said that.
Oh, you did. Crap, you're better at my job than me. You're catching everything. Like the support main you are, you're catching everything.
Mm-hmm.
We're on to the Baron.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. This game is almost assuredly in the bag. At this point, it would take a monumental throw from Team Slalom mid to throw this game back.
I mean, a hook lands onto the ribbon, but here comes Tsunami. Only able to get all on one, but it's great zoning ultimate as the calling comes through. Electric Spinach is dominating, and Strider can't get anything in the back line as it's a quick 3 for 0. Riven already popped the first bit of her ulti. Gonna go right back to the Baron, push in, win the game. Team Solo mid probably gonna take this one to a 1-0 over Battlefly Airlines.
Yeah, and that's just... all of these skirmishes have just been constantly in their favor, and the only skirmishes that really Battlefly was able to start getting going for them were in that bot side, and Cosmic Meep was able to turn those around and disengage from them strongly every single time. So while the top lane did start out rough, the over-engage onto this Riven and the inability for Alawi to follow up on that deep then engage really hurt them and didn't give them really much of a win opportunity in this game.
And on top of that, like, I mean, the Alawi has basically been a non-issue, right? Battlefly Airlines, we saw the Alawi start to get ahead in lane, right? And you already said, you know, they did a good job neutralizing that right here, but it really comes down to Team Slalom mid knows how to play against split push, right? Battlefly is trying to get the split push going. Team Slalom mid's having none of it. They are not rotating anyone into the Alawi lane and instead are forcing their split push to rotate in the fights. And if your split pusher is rotating into fights, you've already lost the game at that point. Cosmic Meep, another disengage. Here comes the Riven, able to get the ult down, and 2 already fall. Dance House into the backline, doesn't matter. Crash and Burn's already on the D. Stun, auto attack, double kill, 3 for 0. And with this Baron buff on 5, they are looking to push into this mid lane and potentially end the game. Strider still has ult though.
Yeah, and that's always just kind of the call when you have a team where the only person doing well is the split pusher. You force things on the opposite side of the map, especially when they're as ahead as Team Slalom mid is.
Look, Nuke's gonna die. I don't really see a point in talking about it. Nami almost killed him with the summon area here. Let's dissect. Let's do the postmortem. Let's do the autopsy. I think on Battlefly Airlines. What went wrong for them?
I mean, really, the only thing that they got going was that Alawi bot lane, they couldn't get anything going because of Cosmic Neep. Action, his ultimates, just not impactful. Did not do anything until he had that first death about 20 minutes into the game. And that is not what you do as Twisted Fate. You have to make your presence known early, and you have to make it known often. You have to use that ultimate extremely well in the early game, because it's kind of like the Nocturne in a sense, where that first ultimate sets the tone of the game. And Action did not get anything done with his first couple of ultimates.
Yeah, and I think that is definitely something to point out, right? Action, before the game, right, Meowington was telling me Action was one of the players to watch out for on the team alongside Strider, but he was on this TF pick, and I think a lot of that comes down to like, TF is a pick that really doesn't do too much as far as solo carry performances. I think he needs to get on a pick that can solo carry for him to do well. You know, Rise, I think, is a pick that Meowington was telling me that Action plays a lot of and can play very well. I want to see something like that, right? I want to see something that can carry games. TF can enable carries, but he's not a carry.
TF can carry in the sense that he can create opportunities for his team, basically on his own. But that was not what happened in this game.
Yeah.
Like, he opens up the opportunity with his ultimate and his game sense. Like, if you are a very good game sense player, Twisted Fate can carry. Action did not seem to... Yeah, that.
I mean, like, honestly, good on him for not doing the TF equivalent of Lee Syndrome there, which is something I've done quite often, but like you just gotta make something happen, because otherwise Battlefly Airlines just becomes Tiny Airlines, because they're throwing everything away. That's a Dota joke. I don't know if any of you guys play Dota, but it makes sense.
They become Sad Plane?
They become
That's
Sad
a
Plane.
joke.
Dude, I miss Jin Air Green Wings. Can we get them back in the LCK? I think, like, I think for some reason that, like, there was a potential for them to, like, purchase one of the slots when LCK franchises or something like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I just want to see my Sad Plane, Glad Plane. Like, Jin Air is just such a historic organization, not just in League, but, like, dating back to Brood War days, right? Like, Jin Air, KT Rolster, SKT, right? Like, those were the big teams of Brood War, right? Action. Able to get a nice stun down as well as a hook. There ain't no souls to get as Mushimu pops Paranoia, diving under tower as the calling goes down top. Turret gonna go down there. Look, all right. All I'm saying is, book me a trip to Colorado, because it's slalom season, baby. No.
you really were waiting on that joke for a while.
You laughed at that one. That's all I'm saying. All right. Hook
I laughed.
But here comes the Alawi, but no way to throw as the slalom team's already out of the way. Cosmic Beat very low. Doesn't matter. Soul gets pulled out of the Riven, but she has a GA. They're just cutting out of the way. Riven ulti down, and Nuke Dance House gonna try to find something, but he's super far away from his team. Mushimu pops the Soul Shield. He's in trouble. Going to pop the Paranoia as well to disengage, and here comes the re-engage. Mushimu stays alive, but two members of his team fall. This might actually be the throw that Battlefly is looking for. TF gonna pop the ultimate. GA not popped on Crash and Burn, but they are able to get the gold card in. Oh, no. Caster Curse, why?
Yeah, and this is exactly what they needed. There was no real good way. They had to disengage that. So we talked about Alawi and how her ultimate works, and that you have to disengage when she ults there. But there was no opportunity to disengage, because that was the only objective they had left. By the time they really did make that call to disengage, so much of the damage was done, and Nuke Dan's house went in, and I don't know why he kind of disengaged and went for the blast cone there. I thought that was actually going to be just the clean disengage, but the Nocturne ult, then Mushimu just kind of went in, and the rest of his team followed, like... and there was the Nocturne syndrome.
It's like Lee syndrome or TF syndrome, but for Nocturne ult. Like, I ult, therefore I must. Although, like, he's used ult without going in previous times in this game. I don't know, man. Like, I feel like this game should have ended like 10 minutes ago with this team comp, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, this is kind of a folly of lower elos, right? We have this case where teams pick these comps that should be able to win early, and then they just kind of waddle around and then finally pull off the win. But the longer this game goes, the more it's going to favor this Kai'Sa comp, right? I don't think that they will end up stalling the game for much longer. I think this second Baron will be the nail in the coffin, so to speak. Strider able to get a hook down. I think this fight's already over. Cosmic Meep, though, will end up fighting as Mashi moves into the backline. He gets one. He's looking for two. He finds it. The healing's already there. Machimu goes down. Doesn't matter. It's an ace for two, and that'll be game for Slalom mid. Going up 1-0 in the series.
Yeah, not able to get another massive Alawi ultimate there, and that should be the game there, as it started looking a little fishy, but they were able to confirm.
Yeah, not me.
That's stop ruining the moment. As
puns are always appropriate for the moment.
Punch it down, get the Nexus, and
punch it down.
Should have been. All right, I'm done.
Okay,
I'm just done.
Okay, I'll give you your space. Here's the postmortem. Let's go.
All right. Yes. So we saw good things from the Alawi. Unfortunately, the Riven was given other opportunities from the rest of his team. Action, like we mentioned, not able to make enough happen with the Twisted Fate. So that something needs to change in that mid lane there. And bot lane, the Nami really just able to disengage from everything, despite the fact that the Thresh was really good. It was a really good Thresh game. The Kai'Sa, not enough follow-up damage early on. And between that and Nami's ability to disengage and heal back up, they were able to stall out so much of that and then eventually turn things around as the Akali would come down and just pop off in that bottom lane.
Yeah, and that Akali pickup, right? We kind of touched on it a little bit, was really instrumental in gaining this lead. And that can't be understated, right? We talked about how great this Nami support pick was, and I just have to say, like, I don't think they would have gotten the lead they got without this Nami pick, right? Or without how well that it was executed by Cosmic Meep. But this Akali pick, right, was able to capitalize on a lot of these things that the Nami was able to pick up bot side.
Yeah, and it was just so much was able to be stalled out from the Nami for the rest of the team to follow up with, teleports or Nocturne ultimates. The Akali could cover a lot of ground fairly quickly. There was just so much where that slight bit of extra time Nami was able to give allowed for the rest of the team to follow up and create, just a huge lead off of that.
Yeah, and what a huge lead it was, right? Like, we talked about towards the end of that game, right? If this were higher elo, that lead would have ended up, snowballing into a win earlier. But I think they did a good job closing out for this elo and for that style of comp, right? They were able to get control of these game-ending neutral objectives and exert pressure that way, which is a good thing. That said, when we talk about early objective control, something that we touched on in the game, neither team went for this Rift Herald, and I want to see that come in from both of these teams into the second game. That objective snowballs so hard pre-14.
Yeah, and considering how much of an early game, mid-game focused comp the Battlefly seemed to have, that really could have been what they focused for. The Alawi was doing well enough that I think you could have gotten away with that, or you could have brought, multiple people up to that top side and forced the Riven back, which then opens up that opportunity for the Rift Herald. So there's definitely some both composition and strategic changes that need to be changed coming into this next game.
Yeah, and I think it does partially start, as you said, with the top lane, but it also comes from the mid lane, right? Action basically did nothing that game, and once again, I was told this is a player to watch out for, and I think that can be the case. He just needs to be on something that has more playmaking potential. We talked about it, right? TF can carry the game, right? But in the sense that he enables carries, right? He enables plays. He makes these kinds of plays, but he's not having a constant damage output. And it looks like Action just wasn't as comfortable on the pick as we initially thought he would be, considering the amount of solo queue time that he's had on the champion. So I want to see something more carry focused. I want to see the Rise pick up. I want to see something like a Cassiopeia, something that will do lots of damage per time in team fights and doesn't come online as late as a TF does if he's not able to get these early ultimates.
Yeah. Yeah, so hopefully we could see that come around as we get ready for game 2. We are still waiting for a couple of players who are restarting some things. We will see how that goes.
Yeah, and that way we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more of the corporate. Never mind, we actually have all the players in the lobby now. They're getting in. Okay, I think both teams want to keep sides, so in that case, we're going to get into this game very quickly. Spoke too soon. You know, 1,000, we cast or cursed it, but we're not taking a break. Okay, game 2 draft, right? We talked about this mid lane. We talked about the top lane. Do we think anything changes bot side or in the jungle for either of these teams?
I feel like jungle probably will change. I don't think the Nocturne was, like, the Nocturne popped off, but it was really just kind of like being in the right place at the right time. It didn't seem like there was a lot of comfort on the Nocturne based on how the ultimate was being used. The Hecarim, I liked it. I just wish I could have seen a little bit more, and I think the itemization changes would really be good. Bot lane, I would like to see something a little bit more early game focused on an AD carry, just because the Kai'Sa early on has no way to really do enough damage when there's a Nami to disengage from Thresh engages. So get a little bit more damage, a little bit more follow-up on the Thresh, and I think that bot lane goes a lot differently.
I definitely agree with you as well. I also want to see a Nami ban come out, because I'm going to be real with you, Chief. That pick in Cosmic Meep's hands, I don't know if there's a lane that can beat it, right? Like, every single ability use was almost perfect that game, right? Like, I think there was only one ultimate that it didn't hit anyone, but that one was a zoning ult anyway. Like, you know, we see the Nocturne being banned away. I'm not a huge fan of this ban here. I don't think the pick did all that well, and I would have liked to see Kayn instead targeting Mushimu. Think we'll probably see that. Zillion as well. If there isn't a Bard ban, I'm gonna be very concerned, and if there isn't a Nami ban, I'm equally concerned here. I think the triple support ban was probably the play, but they opted against it.
I mean, okay, like, on the one hand, like, you're right, but also if that is a Bard, I think there's a little bit more opportunity to get some kills there. Bard is a little bit more volatile as a champion compared to the Nami, who can just disengage from everything. If they want to go for the Thresh again, like, leaving Bard up might have been the call. Obviously, it was banned away. So we are seeing fairly similar bans. And like you mentioned, I don't like the Nocturne ban too much because I think the KDA kind of lies about how well the Nocturne really did. There was just a lot of, the team got ahead and then the ultimates could come out and just snowball. So we are going to see the Graves, which definitely is one that Meowington likes to play a lot. Doesn't seem to have a whole lot of success on it, but that's a much different type of jungler than we saw Meowington on the last game around. Got to be a lot more farming, a lot more just trying to scale up and counter gank to just be a massive kind of secondary carry.
Russian Brent on the Riven again, though. I mean, honestly, if it worked once, it will work again. That said, you're giving counterpick over to Strider here, and this is where things can get a little bit concerning, because even though the Alawi did okay that game, right, there are much better counterpicks in a Riven that are in Meowington, or not Meowington's, that are in the Strider's pool. Opting for the reverse matchup, though, with that Alawi once again, and it will be the Sylas for Action. This is a pick that he's played a little bit of, but not a lot recently, and we see the Yone come out, so this is an explosive mid lane already. No anti-assassin picks can be picked up in this game now, and we have an assassin and an AP bruiser in the mid lane.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, this Sylas could go... wait. No, sorry. Other champions, yeah. Sylas will be going in the mid lane. So Yone gonna be able to it's gonna be rough for Yone early on. Sylas can be a big bully in melee matchups. Amumu, once again, kind of a champion that's gonna just farm up, go for this level 6 kind of strategy. I do like this because I think this is a little bit more straightforward for Mushimu to kind of just do his job on, and he already seems to know how to be in the right place at the right time. Nami banned away, so we're gonna see Cosmic Meep on something different, and it's not often you see a Nami ban taken away.
Yeah, but I mean, it's lots of respect, right? You see this Nami, you see this Leona, it's like, we don't want to deal. Four support bans, because that man absolutely carried Walking Cheese just hovering a bunch of different stuff right now.
Yeah.
What I will say is there's this Amumu pick for Mushimu, another farm-focused jungler. However, he doesn't absolutely get crapped on by Graves early because of how much just tankiness he gets on level 1. So this does leave time for rotations coming in from Yone and Riven, and I do quite like this, right? Like, we expected something farmy like the Kayn or whatever. I didn't expect the Amumu pick. Honestly, not bad into Graves. Jhin, potentially MF going to be picked up here after Walking Cheese picks up the Jhin, and oh no, that's a Brandino.
Ooh.
That is a Brandino.
Okay. So as we kind of neglected to mention, Meowington and Nuke did swap, so there is going to be, somebody different on the jungle area there. Tarek actually being taken. Not sure how I feel about that into that matchup.
I mean, it's one that he's played quite often, and I think Cosmic
It's
Radiance
not fun.
I mean, Cosmic Radiance can be used decently up against Pyroclasm if your team knows how that works, right? Like,
yes, but here's the thing though. Tarek gets dumpstered in even just against enchanters early on. He has no real ability to force an engage without his flash, and his heal is pitiful. Brand is going to just have a field day in this lane, and Misfortune is one of those carries that can follow up a lot better than something like the Kaisa early on. So that lane down there is very scary, and Walking Cheese and Cosmic Meep need to play super safe to not feed in that lane.
Well, they made the draft adjustments that we were expecting them to make, right? More aggressive bot lane and a mid laner that has more impact early, or can have more overall like solo carry impact with the Sylas pickup. Once again, I expected to see the rise just because that's the pick that I was told to look out for here from Action, but seeing the Sylas pickup does bode very well. I think, as you kind of said before, like Yone will lose the lane early, but then start coming back in once he, gets his first crit item right and hits 50% crit, because that's fair and balanced. But Sylas, I look and see an early Sylas pickup. Okay, fine, right? Works well in most lanes. Works. Let's see what he can pick up in ults. Cosmic Radiance. Curse of the Sad Mummy. Of Fate Sealed. I forgot that was the name of Yone's ultimate. I always call it Nothing Personnel Kid, right? Like, all three of those ults, very easy for Sylas to use, right? And the Blade of Exile and Curtain Call can be used, but they're not like, Blade of Exile, I guess, does work fairly decently on Sylas, but like, when I look at Curse of the Sad Mummy, like, it's such an easy ultimate to use to turn team fights, especially after you hit an Abscond Abduct. Same thing with a Fate Sealed, right? Because if you get the knock up, Fate Sealed, right? Like Abscond Fate Sealed, you're out of here, right? I'm expecting to see early aggression come in from this Battlefly Airlines team. I want to see that. That is something that this comp does that the other one didn't really do. That said, Team Slalom Mids comp, very similar to last games, in terms of like it has quite a bit of disengage with the Yone and the Tarek, but also you have like hard engage with the Amumu. Although you can disengage with Curse of Sad Mummy as well.
Yeah, it can buy a lot of time for the Jhin to reposition and get ready for an ultimate. Obviously, as we mentioned, both junglers kind of farming junglers, which if you're looking at these lanes, just really favors Battlefly's composition, because all three of those lanes should be lanes that win in the early game. We saw this matchup in the top side, obviously, in the last game, and it was very Alawi favored if Crash and Burn was not on his toes every single moment and picking his engagements carefully. Action, Silas's healing on the Kingslayer makes him win almost every duel against melee characters, because he will not get poked out and he can just go in, do a bunch of damage and heal, and then disengage. Obviously, Misfortune and Brand, absurd damage, and Jhin and Tarek are not super great at dealing with constant aggression.
You know, something that I would have liked to see almost, right, is if Electric Spinach picked Gione, right, and just decided to lane swap with Walking Cheese, and Walking Cheese picked Lysandra. I think this is actually a decent Lysandra matchup. I don't know. We'll see. They played very well last game, so I don't think that this is going to change all that much. But as you said, this melee punish in the Silas can be very difficult to get back into, even as a Yone, who has a very strong 2-item power spike, right? We talk about Yone's 2-item power spike because much like Yasuo, he has that point in the game where once he has enough items, like he's basically unstoppable. Same 2 items, right? You have 2 crit items. One's going to be an IE. The other one's probably going to be a Phantom Dancer. Could be an Essence Reaver. We'll see. We're into the game. I'm excited. Game number 2 here. Same size, same teams. And the start appears to be a stack coming in towards the top side from Battlefly Airlines, as an invade might come in from Team Slalom mid.
Yeah, gonna be just trying to catch the invade here, which is not super surprising. But Amumu, definitely not a great level 1 champ, and Tarek is what they need, and he is not there yet.
Well, yeah, Dan's house is gonna spot this one out. So they opted for not a 5 points, but a 3-2 stack, which I think is good against a team that you know is going to want to invade. That said, not going to have the same level of level 1 cheese that we saw in that first game, which is nice. Both junglers going to start towards that bottom side, and as we said, both these junglers just want to farm. Probably going to see a full clear from both junglers before first back. We'll see if there's going to be any fighting towards top scuttle. I wouldn't expect it, as Action and Strider should have lane priority, but we'll see.
It's both mid laners.
I like the spin.
Just chilling.
2 blades, no penta. Wait, no, that's not how that works. Look, if Electric Spinach hits his 0-7 power spike, the game's over, right? Like, that's
Is it still the same on Yone?
Yeah, I mean, the whole joke about 0-7 power spike is that it doesn't matter what the scoreline is. Once he hits 2 items, he's basically a monster, right? Because 2 items on Yone is equivalent stats or equivalent crit to 4 items on a crit AD carry, and equivalent stats to effectively 3 items on any AD carry, right? So like that is kind of his thing, right? Or I guess both of them. Can we talk about that passive for a second? Remember when they made the crit item rework and you would get 100% crit on 1 item? Good times, yeah. Good times. Not really good times, but I play Yasuo counters, so I'm fine. Play Lysandra, play Anivia, who outscales them and doesn't die to him in lane, and Windwall does nothing. Play some Malzahar too.
Yes,
enough about me. Graves ganking topside on Crash and Burn.
Yeah.
That's
just
actually,
trying to get that pressure.
Yeah, and Strider has this nice wave that he's going to be able to freeze due to that as well. which is really, really good for the Alawi.
Yeah, and that's exactly kind of what you want to see, because the Alawi does have that little bit of weakness in the early game. You get that little extra help to get through it, and then you're golden.
Yeah, but that said, a little bit greedy. Curse of the Sad Mummy not available. Doesn't matter. Crash and burn. Gonna pick up first blood, and honestly, I'm not quite sure what was going through Meowington's head there. He knew he didn't have to lane priority when he went in for that invade. So it's just like, okay, bandage toss, Riven's already here, I'm dead.
Yeah, it seemed like he just kind of was like, well, I'm Graves, and I win against duels with people early, and then just kind of tunnel visioned on that instead of really watching the whole area of the map. And not only is that the first kill there, but that is double buffs on the Riven, which that whole, you know, advantage you had there, gone.
Yeah, action forced the flash here, but here comes the bandage toss. Meowington's already here, gonna get a nice blind down. Meowington gonna flash over on a Mushimu, doesn't have flash available. That'll be a kill over to Meowington. So first blood traded for a kill onto the other jungler. And Crash and Burn gonna be doing, I think, a little bit less with that into the Alawi lane than the Graze will just be doing in general. We see quite a bit of damage come out from this brand towards the bottom side as Walking Cheese is ignited as well as brand passived. So Nuke Dance House, I think, looking very nice. Already getting some Dark Harvest procs as well with that Flame Pillar. Yeah, Walking Cheese in quite a bit of trouble.
Cosmic Wave is out of mana now.
Unleashing the D. And the heal already used on Walking Cheese here. And as you mentioned, Meep's out of mana.
Yeah. Meep's out of mana, and we saw how rough this lane goes. Surprised he did not try and sneak over for the Jhin there, but that is just going to delay.
No Kingslayer through Ignite, but Crash and Burn. Oh my god, the minions.
Look at the level difference.
Yeah. And that's what that early freeze does, right? Like, Strider's just like, I'm chilling.
Speaking of freezes, massive wave going to crash here in the bot lane as well. So this is a lot lost for Cheese and Meep here. They had to back. There was no opportunity for them to stay there. And Mushimu's going to try and claim what he can here, but it's still just a major, major loss in terms of gold and experience for Cheese and Meep.
2 plates to MF up against a Stormrazor building Jhin is just so nice, right? Like, you're going to be able to back, you're going to be able to grab your Caulfields in 15 gold. And Caulfields is worth more than Shard in terms of just raw stats. So, like, this is super advantage to MF off those 2 plates. And feels really nice. Though, Dragon Priority is going over to Team Slalom mid. Junglers are positioned around there, but they decide against it.
Yeah, and just with the backs there, they know they had to back themselves, so it's going to be... And this is really in favor of Strider. Not sure what Crash and Burn's doing.
Yeah! Conqueror proc, press level 6.
That's the exact thing we talked about in that matchup. Just don't blindly engage on her.
Oh, well, there's Yone ultimate used.
Wait, he missed!
Most of the damage down. Mushimu picks it up.
Oh. Spinach almost cost that kill there with the ultimate there. He ulted and it just nudged action a little bit over, which caused the bandage toss to miss.
Yeah, doesn't matter though. He's got it as Strider just hanging around for plates. With that mid lane priority, they are able to get on to Dragon. As here comes Mushimu with the
He's not
already
level
being
6.
channeled by the Alawi. Meowington's here. Cosmic Meep already down. Here comes action, and he gets 1 kill. It'll be a 2 for 0, and that was actually TP out of action, not out of Strider. So Strider's still top, going to be able to collect the plate as the first Dragon goes over to Battlefly Airlines, unless Electric Spinach can do anything, but he has no ulti. Going over, and he's able to get it!
Oh my god. That is disappointing. You cannot lose that.
How many gold games we cast, I shouldn't be surprised. But I'm surprised nonetheless.
Yeah, you cannot lose those. Right after you get such a big win, to lose those smite fights to the mid laner, that is the last thing you want there.
Oh, well, bye, Riven.
Yep. There you go.
Test of Spirit are dead. Yeah, and we also see Black Cleaver coming out from Crash and Burn, but also, interestingly, Strider opting to start Kindle Gem towards Black Cleaver, not building the XX this game. I like this from Strider. As we said, that was a little bit of a misbuild. Now with this early lead, just absolutely massive on this Alawi, 300 gold at 8 minutes, just onto her with a 1,000 gold lead to your team. This is starting to look very good for Battlefly Airlines as they're trying to look for a game 3 here.
Yeah, mid lane is looking really rough though for them. You can see the farm difference, and just every time they fight, Yone is just coming out ahead. Ooh.
Dark
Not
Harvest
able to get
proc.
this done.
Dark Harvest makes it worth, right? Mumu's here.
Yeah, Mumu?
As Curse of the Sad Mummy.
Yeah, this is going to be a kill.
Yeah, there is no ult on Nuke Dan's house. Root lands and Bandage Toss. No need for Summoner Heal. Curse of the Sad Mummy, though, will be a swing and a miss on a Nuke Dan's house. And Mushimu's also being very effective on this Mumu, right? Like, more effective than he was on the Nocturne. Definitely something very good for him, but we see top lane. Riven's
at least
in a bit
early
of trouble.
game.
Test of Spirit. Actions here. Stole the Riven ultimate. Get some damage down on to the clone, but Crash and Burn will stay alive for the time being. Strider has no ulti.
Yeah, now this is just a really sketchy spot for Crash and Burn. As you can see, the ultimate for Strider almost back up. Will be able to pull a similar play as before if Crash and Burn is not careful. And it's just so rough because he wants to get this farm, but he is not in a safe spot to do so. You can see.
Yep. I mean, all you have to do if you're Strider, right, is get one more Test of Spirit and just hit R. You don't even have to, like, pull this soul out completely. Right, like you don't have to kill the clone. You just gotta,
oh no, you don't want to ult. You don't want to go under the Alawi with the ult here.
Yep, Test the Spirit, press his arm. Meowington's already here. Mushimu forced the flash out of the way. As collateral damage hits, and Mushimu will die. 1 tentacle hit. Flash
there
in,
you go.
Not needed. Crash and Burn gonna pop the ultimate, but here comes action. Abscond, abduct, Kingslayer, and he gets the kill. 2 for 0 on the top lane. Battlefly Airlines looking to keep their plane tickets valid during COVID. I know that's an industry that got hit quite a bit, but seeming to recover recently, actually.
Yeah, and well, this is kind of what we wanted to see a little bit more out of Battlefly last game. You know, they have the Alawi getting ahead in this lane once again, and rather than just trying to let her fight, rather than just trying to let her fight with this Riven alone and trying to focus things on the other side of the map, they're saying, no, let's just dumpster this Riven. Let's throw her into the ground and not let her do anything.
And that Rift Herald, right? We talked about it. Pre-14 Rift Herald, pre-14 first tower, you're getting gold onto the Alawi and the Graves. This is just absolutely massive for Battlefly Airlines right now. They're at a 3k gold lead at 11 minutes. More than the gold lead Team Slalom Mid had game 1 at 15.
Yeah, it's looking good for them. Obviously, there's a little bit more scaling now on the team that is currently losing, so they have to really kind of keep the pressure up. If they do not keep Team Slalom Mid down, this late game Taric alongside a Yone and a Riven with an Amumu, like that's a lot of scaling.
Stun on the nuke here. He has the Pyroclasm. Pops the ult from the MF, and he barely stays alive out. Here comes Yone, though. Pops the Fate's Call. Flash out of the way from Nuke Den's house, trying to get the damage back in. Electric Spinach will fall to his own Fate's Call as Meowington pops the collateral damage mid. It's 3-4-1 at the moment. Damage toss over the wall. Able to get one, but here comes the Abscond Abduct. King Slash into the Chain Lash. And Unleashing the D will pick up the kill with the empowered auto attack from the Q.
Yeah, this time they took out the Yone and the Amumu so they can make sure that this dragon goes their way.
See the TP coming in from Alawi too. They just are like, we want this dragon, we want this bot tower.
Yeah. They do not want to risk anything there. They know Riven was close by and they don't want to give any opportunity.
And Strider's just
Cloud.
Strider's presence is enough to stop this. Yeah, it's Soul. Honestly, not a great Soul for either team, but I mean, it is what it is. I think the ultimate CDR
Stylus is okay.
Oh yeah,
So-
because he gets a proc when he presses the hijack, right? So no.
Yeah, he'd get a proc on either, I believe.
Yeah. Tested Spirit goes down onto the Jhin here. And Walking Cheese does get some roots down with the Deadly Flourish, but still, Soul is pulled. Oh, Electric Spinach.
Now.
Not on one item yet.
Yeah. Now, the real question here is, this is where the Alawi lead started to falter in the last game. Are they going to start to actually change things back around and allow for Strider to get a little bit more done? They pulled this lane swap last time. Yeah. They pulled the lane swap last time, and it just kind of slowed their momentum down and cost them so much. And then they engaged so much onto this Riven that she was able to get back into the game by turning things around. It is worth mentioning that Riven is a lot further behind this game.
Hi, Jen.
Not yet. It is worth mentioning that she is a lot further behind than she was last game. Action.
First Sad Mummy already used, but he's already dead. Here comes Yoda, though. A big ultimate. He's able to get so much damage in, but Meowington stays alive. Flash.
Barely getting out.
Gets the flash.
It's not often you see a flash MF ult.
I mean, 4, 1, and 2 has the Essence Reaver and the Berserker's Greaves. And Walking Cheese is still bot. He can't 1v1 Alawi. We see the knockup land from Unleashing the D. Cosmic Meep is here, not going to be able to get the stun.
Pop back a little bit too early.
Yeah. Graves is here as well. Yeah, it's ER to components of Stormrazor. He's up 1,400 gold plus the extra 300 he gets from going slightly magical footwear. So, like, this is kind of a disaster for Team Slalom mid's bot lane after how solid their game number 1 was. Cosmic Meep looks a lot less confident on the Taric than he did on the Nami.
Yeah, and that's just also a bit because of how strong brand MF is versus the Taric. I don't think there's a way where you ever look comfortable in that kind of a matchup.
Yeah.
But Taric just wants to scale. Taric is not a laning support. He's never been since his rework. He scales up and becomes this massive team fight support that can just buy so much time.
I mean, I think team fights are kind of the name of the game, right? You have Yona, you have Jhin, you have Amumu, and obviously Taric. Did you see the ult being used from Action onto Electric Spinach? Can't find it. Bandage Toss going to be a swing and a miss onto Unleashing the D. We see Graves roaming down as well. It's going to be a 3-for-1 as Curse's Sad Mummy comes in, but here comes the Abscond of Duck. Back to the Rivet ult! What are you doing? Meowington has to flash over, and Crash and Burn just picks up 2 just like that.
Yeah, and that's exactly the same kind of thing we saw last time. It's not them engaging on the Riven, but engaging on the Amumu, and Riven able to follow up on that. While Alawi is not getting much done. She's getting a little bit of farm and trying to push this wave.
Flash into the bandage toss, down goes the Graves, and the ult from Electric Spinach, plus the Divine Intervention. It's actually called Cosmic Radiance. Has a similar active. Keeps him alive.
Yeah, and that's just the tempo falling off once again from the early lead. Battlefly having a lot of struggles in keeping their lead going, and really just great plays from Team Slalom mid to bring things back and kind of get themselves back into this game. They know what to look for to put themselves back into it, and they are taking advantage of those opportunities that are given to them.
Still, a 2k gold lead for Battlefly Airlines is not insignificant at this point in game, but it's also not insurmountable, right? Team Slalom mid gets one more skirmish like that, then they're in control of the game. And Action tries to get something on a Walking Cheese, but he does flash. We see the dragon going up. This dragon is one that I just don't think you contest if you're either team. You just let the other one get it. In fact, Unleashing the D ends up going very low. Meowington is here, but so is Cosmic Meep. He gets one stun onto Meowington as Alawi tries to find something to ult. Jin gonna go ahead and pop the curtain call. Does not have flash. Here comes Curse the Sad Mummy. Right back into the ult from the end. And Strider goes on a killing spree. Action in the backline. Tries to get some damage in as Mushimu faults. He's allowing it to double kill. And another one going over as Meowington gets a kill into Electric Spinach. Cosmic Meat running for the hills. And Battlefly Airlines gets this dragon. And as I was saying, you don't want to contest this. It's just the second dragon of the game for either team. Whoever gets there first, you just want to leave it. The game's too close to throw it on that.
Yeah, and crucially, Mushimu did not have the ultimate up at that point, and Strider was there and in a good position to basically say, if you guys engage on us and you don't keep me locked down, I am going to ult and annihilate your team. So a bit over aggressive there. The second dragon going to Battlefly, and now this Jin very far behind as there are 4 kills on this MF. You just got the Storm Razor finished on Jin. It's very much just kind of, that was one of the crucial points of the game where whoever did well at that point was going to be able to pull the game away for the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, tempo advantage to Battlefly Airlines is not only are they pulling the game away, Strider's pulling all the souls out of Team Slalom mid, perhaps the morale as well. We do see the Protobelt completed onto action here, but similar itemization already to Electric Spinach. He's got almost a 50 CS lead, I would like to mention, as well as 1,000 gold. So I think this is kind of one of those things. You have a Yone on your team, just get him to a second item. He has the Phantom Dancer, he just needs an IE and he's online. And when you're up against a team with Silas, who basically starts falling off after his first item, this can be very dangerous if you're not careful.
Yeah, and looking at this build from Mushimu too, I really like this because this is just the walking Sunfire cave build.
Oh, and they're looking for the engage. Meowington might be in trouble with Cosmic Radiance is already there. Electric Spinach. That would get the kill onto Meowington is unleashing the D. Will be the next one to fall. And here comes the Cosmic Radiance, this time on the Taric to stop any damage coming out from the Pyroclasm. Double kill for Crash and Burn. And Battlefly Airlines looking like tiny airwaves right now, but Strider is currently pushing this top lane turret. Should be able to at least force a rotation, if not get the turret. He's 4-0-1. That's 500 gold shutdown if he goes down.
Yeah, smartly backing off there. Just great engages here. Once again, just every time there is some kind of lead for Battlefly, Team Slalom mid turn it around. They find the picks they need to, and they pull back into the game. So this game is just so back and forth, and that generally I think favors Team Slalom mid, as I think their late game composition is just a bit stronger. The Jin I think scales better. The Yone is a really good scaling champion. Mumu is going to be a super beefy boy who is still doing a lot of damage.
I love the
and
Leandry's
Taric
build.
is just Taric.
I love the Leandry's build on Amumu.
Yeah, Leandry's with the tank because he's just walking around. He has the Sunfire. His W is essentially a second Sunfire that he turns on. His E is damage around him. Like, there's so much AoE damage. He just walks around and is a beefy boy. Yeah,
exactly. And that's the thing. Like, the Leandry's build, you build it and then a bunch of tank items. He's basically become an AP Bruiser now. Speaking of AP Bruiser items next season, they are absolutely busted, but so is every other item. So, Anivia's getting Omnivamp on Roa. That's all I care about, right? And tier at level 1. And, what else? There's an item that replaces Madness passive in addition to Leandry's given, like, absolute insane MR shred. What's your favorite Season 11 item, 1000? Actually,
I honestly don't know because I can't say I remember all of them to be able to pick a favorite. They just all look kind of ridiculous, except for Enchanter support items, because of course.
Oh, I mean, they're probably gonna buff them, right? Like, I
mean, they're getting rid of Athene's, which has been the Enchanter support item, so it's like, I don't know what to look forward to at this point.
I mean, you should proud Mad Magical and the one Discord and be like, yo, want to test some stuff? I'll be down.
Yeah, I really should try that.
That said, Rift Herald gonna be channeled in this mid lane. Just kinda gotta use it as the dragon spawning here. As they have it, it's gonna run out, so should be able to get a charge off onto the tower. But here comes the flash engage of the Amumu, and he gets onto 2. That's a deleted misfortune as the Cosmic Radiance comes down. Doesn't even
Perfect
matter
timing.
about the second Curse of the Sad Mommy as the damage comes through from the brand. They are able to get a bit of damage, and Amumu's in trouble here. Meowington just needs to get one auto attack, and Meowington picks up the kill. Double kill for Battlefly Airways as Crash and Burn pops the ultimate in the top side, but his soul's pulled. Here comes the Alawi ultimate. Crash and Burn will end up falling if he doesn't flash out of the way. Ace for Battlefly Airlines.
You did not know how to pace yourself on that last part, did you?
Look. I'm like, oh, she's dead. No, she's not. Oh, she's dead. Battlefly Airlines now, I think, just has a clear path to win now. They're on Soul Point. They won't be able to get this inhib, but with the Baron priority that they get off this mid tower and off the top and bot waves, they should be looking to get a pick then Baron and then just end the game off that.
Yeah, Battlefly are definitely in control after that fight, and unfortunately, Cosmic Meep did not activate the Terracol early enough. Mushimu went in, got a good engage, and the follow-up was immediate to get down the misfortune, but there was nothing left in the tank, and by the time the Terracol hit to buy a bit more time for abilities to come back up, everybody was at under 10% health.
Yeah, Pyroclasm cleaned up that fight for Nukedan's house because it was saved for after the Cosmic Radiance, which is what you have to do as the brand. So that's also really well played from the side of Battlefly Airlines support. He is currently only sitting on a Haunting Guise plus Luden's Echo, so he's not on to the Rylai's Crystal Scepter quite yet.
He stole it, and...
Oh my gosh, and buy Electric Spinach. Unless...
Wait.
Unless... The ult
Tarek!
comes in! Cosmic Meep picks up the kill, as we do see Gray's ult being used.
This is where Tarek starts to shine. We've hit the level 11 point. He's got points in his Q. He's got points in his E. That's kind of like the E is really where, or the heal, the Q on Tarek is really where he starts to shine. Once he gets some points in that, he is going to start healing people very powerfully. And in fights, as he's auto-attacking, he's getting stacks back every time.
Oh, but here comes the ult from Strider. Will he be able to get any sort of kills off of it? No! The shutdown hits, and then Jin gets the kill.
Just enough crowd control
he almost got
there.
Crash. Almost.
Yeah. Just enough crowd control there to be able to survive and not die to this Alawi with all those people around. That's always scary, and you have to layer that perfectly. Luckily, they're able to pull that off and get the shutdown from Strider onto the Jin too, which is really who you want to have it. He's been a little bit behind. Get some items for him. Yeah.
He's caught up to the MF item wise. 100 gold behind, but the Essence Reaver is a more expensive item than the Storm Razor. So you're looking at, because it's Caulfield's plus BF instead of Shard plus BF, right? So with the second Shard item here, most likely going to be the Rapid Fire Cannon. This does mean that Jin's going to end up a little bit ahead as MF is going to be late to the RFC, as we already see. She's got components for Shard and for Zeal, but hasn't completed. Or she's going Zeal before Shard, I should say. And the Shard is, I think, much nicer on the Jin than the Zeal here. Just as like the component goes, just for the empowered on the auto attack. But still, Soul Point, minute 53 left, and Battlefly Airlines still in control of the game, potentially. Cosmic Meep has to flash out of the way, gonna get caught out by the brand here. Big Brandini.
That is
house on a killing spree.
That is a very, very big mistake from Meep there, as that is not a word you want to fight for. There's no reason to take it. Like, just tunnel vision on, hey, I want to kill a word because I'm a support and that's what I do. And because of that, you know, like, you saw people there and then you just go down.
No, but here comes the engage. Action's down. Curse of the Sad Mummy has already been used as Mushimu tries to take up the damage. Here comes the One ult, getting onto 2. They got the damage in, but MF will be able to trade it back with the bullet time. She gets 2 as Meowington's on a killing spree. Mushimu now in trouble, and Jin's nowhere to be found. He's on the bottom side of the map. That will be a Dedamu, but he is able to trade back onto the graves. It's 3 for 2 on the double kill onto the Misfortune. Tarek is back up, and Jin is still split pushing. What is this Vayne spotting? Please, no! You are not playing Vayne. You're not allowed to do that.
I mean, I don't think there's really anything he could do if he was here. He's not going to stop them from taking the inhib. He's not going to be able to do anything as they are in the base. They're not going to push further, I don't think, because spawn timers are going to open up pretty soon. So I think this is actually just the right call. Let Jin get that tower, get a little bit more gold, open up the map a bit more. You know they're not going to keep pushing.
Yone's been on a 2-item store bit now, though. And he's about to get Death Stance. He's 2,000 gold ahead of Silas. I think this is going to be the player to watch, right? Electric Spinach has to make plays like that, but with more of his team around, right?
Mm-hmm. Soul Point coming up, so they cannot stay around on this top side. Crash and Burn, once again, does not take the teleport, so him being up here is a liability.
Yeah, we see Alawi and Bran on the top side, but they are backing, and Strider has TP. Dragon has spawned. Electric
Strider
Spinach,
teleporting.
The first one of the pit.
They're going to see Riven mid.
Riven's coming in, but here comes the flash into the engage, and a 4-man curse of the Sad Mummy gets unleashed the D, but here comes the ult from the Alawi. They're able to disengage through the Cosmic Radiance. It's not late this time. Meowington's in trouble, and we see the curtain call going through. The Alawi's dead. Meowington the next one to fall, and it's 3-4-0 double kill for the One.
And a perfect fight in there as massive Amumu ultimate, able to get that down. They're going to confirm this dragon now, and perfect Amumu ult. The engage from Strider was great. Got an ult on a bunch of people, but they disengaged while they waited for the Tarek ult to come down, and that allowed them to win that fight because they didn't let Strider get a bunch of damage onto everybody in return.
Yeah, rapid fire cannon completed on the MF here, and the back from the Jin will complete the rapid fire cannon as well. So both AD carries are on 3 items. With 3 items, it's better on Jin than MF. We have to keep that in mind. The AD carry and mid laner are ahead for Team Slalom mid, despite the gold lead still being in Battlefly Airlines' favor. Where actually is this gold lead on? It's on the support and top lane.
I do think it is very, very important to mention that these choke points fights are always going to go in favor of Battlefly, though, because you have Misfortune and the Alawi. If they chase too far into a fight and they don't take out Misfortune like they did in that last fight, that is going to work against them regardless of what the items are, because of how much AoE control they have.
And at the same time, Action needs to be able to get in with Curse of the Sad Mummies, right? That is the ultimate he has to steal and make it work. That's the only way you're going to be able to lock down people in order to get these MF ultimates off, even in these choke points. So Action, that's the ult you got to steal. You got to hit your Abscond Abducts. You can't die at the beginning of fights. And this is kind of on this mid lane. He's been doing better this game than he did on the TF. 2, 6, and 10. Still has quite a few deaths, but a lot more KP. He's doing a lot more on the map. He's just got to get the play down. We see the Baron being taken Electric Spinach over the wall.
They know Jin is bot.
Yeah, Alawi's also bot side as well. Strider ends up taking the soul. Walking Cheese will just lose this 1v1.
Yeah. And that's all you do. You force the Baron not to take it, but to buy time for Alawi and force them to send a 1v1 on that bot side with Strider, who can just fight anybody at this point.
Yeah. Mushimu, though, gets a nice engage onto Dan's house, but it will be the Curse of the Sad Mummy stolen. Riven will get the kill onto the Brand. That's one team fight ultimate down as Walking Cheese pops the Summoner Heal to get out of the way of the Alawi. They're looking for the rotate towards the bottom side. Alawi has to know what's up here.
Yeah, so that is a very, very big pick there. Mushimu hitting a big bandage toss, and just a little bit lackadaisical from Nuke Dan's house to just stand there when they did not know if that was warded or not.
And there's the bandage toss. Alawi
no
has
stuns
the
here.
Will end up pausing
Disengage.
it, but that's going to be the ult from Cosmic Meat. to disengage. Chris the Sad Mummy and Electric Spinach is here to pick up the kill. He's on the killing spree, 6, 4, and 11 on the Yone. Grant you, they got all the rotations out on Strider, and I will say, Battlefly has been playing around Strider a lot better than they did in the previous game.
Absolutely.
They're forcing rotations with them, but at the same time, Alawi is not performing in these situations as well as you expect her to. She is getting a Bramble Vest, though, which will help quite a bit against the Yone with the Death Stance and Conqueror, but this game is on a knife's edge now, and it's whoever wins the next skirmish wins the game.
I just noticed itemization here. There's a man immune on this Alawi.
Yeah, it's damage instead of tank. I'm not a huge fan.
I mean, if you're gonna split push, might as well. Honestly.
Yeah, but I mean, like Black Cleaver is fine because they've got an immune on their team. You're gonna need it, but on someone outside of just the Graves. But at the same time, like, this can be very difficult. Electric Spinach misses the ult, though, and he's going in. Still going in, but he ends up getting out of the way just in time. Nuke Dance House is here, though, able to get the damage in, but there's the stun. There's the kill through the pillar. Tesla Spear also going to be used. Mushroom moves in, though. Looking for the ult. Can't find it. Stun out from Tarek. Here comes his curse. Sad Mummy on a 3. Action's dead. That's no curse. That's going to be another one onto the ribbon and a second kill. Pyroclasm be damned. Mushimu stays alive just barely, but the Dark Harvest gets the kill as the Alawi will pick up another one. Nuke Dance House going to flash out of the way, but he's into Cosmic Meat. Gets damage down, but here comes the stun. The damage might not be enough as Nuke ends up falling. It's gonna be a 3 for 4. Save me from this prison. Lord, help me get away, because only you can save me now from my voice absolutely dying. Los Lonely Boys, Heaven. Great song, by the way.
And now third dragon, so next dragon will be the soul point regardless of who takes it, unless there is an Alawi steal
Striker.
here.
Nope. Chuck Testa. No, he's still able to get the kill, though. Onto the Tarek will be traded back. Support for top lane, that's worth.
Yeah, on top of the dragon as well, so just big gains for them.
Gold's still even, but once again, the late game favors Team Slalom mid. Electric Spinach going in. He's looking for the ultimate, able to get it down and buy MF.
Well played from Electric Spinach there. Did miss a couple of things there, but the ultimate coming through.
Oh, Flash Bandage toss and another one into the Curse of the Sad Mommy. Bye-bye, Brand. Nice knowing you. Baron will go over to Team Slalom mid.
Yeah, and it's like, it might seem like a bad idea just to use the ultimate like that, but that confirms them getting this Baron. There's no opportunity for them to even risk this. Meowington would have to just dash in, outsmite being a level down, and yeah, there's no teleport from Strider. Easy Baron just for the confirmation kill there.
Yeah, and this comeback from Team Slalom mid. I mean, there's so much credit to be had here, right? Cosmic Meat performed so well in the first game. This game, it's all about Electric Spinach and it's all about Mushimu. These guys have been playing insanely this game. Electric Spinach played very well in game number 1 on that Akali pick, but Mushimu stepping it up on this Amumu pick. How many Curses Sad Mummies has it been onto multiple people, right? We've seen the one towards that Dragon Pit that was a fight that turned, but there were several for him. Action, honestly, meanwhile, hasn't been doing that much.
The only bad Curse of the Sad Mummy has been the one that he just kind of whiffed early on.
Yeah.
Other than that, everyone has been, even if it was one person, it was for an impactful reason. It was not just, you know, like, oh, I'm going to use it because it's up. It was, this is going to gain us something very important.
Yeah. And on top of that, right, Action had some very good curses himself early in the game, but now that we're in towards this late game, Graves has basically done nothing, and same with Action. I don't know what kind of happened to them in the mid game that made them lose the aggressive mindset, but now they're just slowly bleeding out. 4K gold lead now to Team Slalom mid. We see 2.5 minutes left on the soul point. And a minute left on the Baron buff for Team Slalom mid.
Yeah, and Cosmic Meep, we are just late game Tarek time, and that is A-okay.
Double Mortal Reminder, Thorn Mail. Oh my god. Curse of Sad Mummy, gonna be used on to unleash the D. Pasta Summoner, heal. Tarek gets a 2-man stun though! Action, gonna go ahead and have the Cosmic Radiance able to stay alive through use of the Zonias. Doesn't matter, double kill for the Amumu as the Yone gets one of his own. 3 for 0 in the mid lane. And Battlefly Airlines doing the best Tiny Airways impression. I know that's a Dota joke. I'm gonna keep saying it. It's because Tiny has an ability that that tosses people. It can be your teammates, it can be the enemy teammates. We call it Tiny Airways regardless.
You know there's a saying that if you have to explain the joke, it's not a good joke.
I mean, it would be absolutely hysterical if this were a Dota cast. All right.
Can you remind me what we're casting?
Another MOBA. Strider in a bit of trouble here. Does end up on the ultimate. Gets quite a bit of damage on the Test of Spirits as the Pyroclasm gets the kill on Walking Cheese. They're still grouped up together. Will be enough to disengage. So we have 17 seconds left on the Baron. Soul in a minute.
Yeah, and it's all about the soul right now. Cheese will be up for it, but has to sprint down there immediately. And
oh no. That's a soul kill onto the Mumu. Doesn't even need to do damage.
More importantly,
that's
a misfortune down and will not be alive for the dragon fight.
She respawns 3 seconds after and doesn't have TP, so this is... She can rotate relatively quickly with
that costs soul.
Yeah.
That death costs soul, and that is a big, big mistake for unleashing the D.
You're 2 levels down on Smite as well on the Graves. So, like, the only way you're going to be able to steal this is with an Alawi ult in the pit. And, well,
Muramana is completed on the Alawi.
Crash and burn, though. Pops the ultimate, looking for the damage onto the enemy jungler, but he's stunned up. Ends up having to go over the wall, but here comes the Yone with the 2-man ulti. Will end up getting damage in his action. Barely stays alive in time. Strider is here with the teleport. As the dragon spawns, they're not going to be able to take it quite yet, as MF will respawn.
That was very risky to do. You already know that the misfortune is going to have to run over there. I don't think you need to try and force a pick off.
It's going to go to them as it goes to the Amumu. They get the soul. Cosmic Radiance down. That's 1 kill. Strider going to be the next one. He does pop the ultimate. Gets damage onto the clone, but he can't get the kill as Mushimu ended up popping the ultimate down onto Unleashing the D. MF ult will be used. Mushimu, though, stays alive through the bandage shot. Still able to trade it back off of the Leandries. 3-4-1. The soul goes over to Team Slalom mid. It will be a zoning ultimate from the Jhin. Cosmic Meep is here. Gonna try to find Nuke.
Does not want to go in further on that, and now this game is looking very rough. We have hit the late game here. Even Cosmic Meep almost hitting the level 18 point. This is just slow bleed out, as there's just not been enough pressure and tempo from Battlefly to get this game going once they get a lead, and it is just biting them super hard at this point.
And I would like to say, right, like, this is kind of the danger of going for an early game focus comp in lower elos, right? Is that if you can't close out, even if you have a lead, the game will end up going to 40 minutes. And when you're up against a scaling comp, that is a death sentence, as Walking Cheese will end up falling, at least. No pun intended, there is no Thresh in this game, but, like, we see it, right? We see this in gold games all the time. We see this in silver games as well, less so in plat, where you have these early game comps that are snowballing, and you see this get stopped in the mid game because the team that's piloting it doesn't really have the practice closing it out. And we are going to see this comeback probably be completed from Team Slalom mid.
Yeah, and it's just a lot of being scared to pull the trigger here. Is
Yone ultimate is swinging a miss, but it was a zoning ultimate as the Curse Sad Mummy comes in, Unleashing the D will end up falling. That is a dead misfortune of Strider. The 1v1 scenario ends up getting the Test of Spirit down, pops the ultimate, but he will end up falling. Lots of damage from 1 strike of the tentacles, but he can't get the 2nd strike in on anyone. That was not named Mumu.
And that is going to be, once again, another Baron call here, as I actually feel like they could just push and try and end the game off of that, but...
It's gold. This is the safer taking gold, right? Like, yes, you can push off that. I think it's easier to throw off a final push than it is to throw off a Baron.
Yeah.
At this stage in the game. So, I honestly don't hate the decision. If this were, you know, plat or above, I would be flaming it, but, like, yeah, it's fine.
And just with that, it just puts so much pressure. You have the Cloud Soul on somebody like a Riven or a Taric. There's just so much scariness to try and fight here, and you don't have a good kind of disengaged kite back composition here. Mushimu could just walk in and take all the damage he wants, really.
Yeah, electric spinach though, able to get an ult down onto one. Strider ends up popping the ult himself as Nan down nuke. I cannot talk. Ends up falling. Nuke Dan's house, not Nan Dan nuke.
Nan down Duke Nukem.
Nukem. Strider gets the test spirit down onto electric spinach. Ends up rocking Phantom Dancers. We get the flash bandage toss ult from Amumu. That was beautiful. And another counter ult will come out from Action. Doesn't matter. Crash and Burn gets the kill on to the Alawi. And that should be game. You have Baron on to 5. You only have 2 members remaining. They're pushing into the base. And what a series. Team Slalom mid making the comeback in game number 2, not letting the game 3 go to them. Action gonna pop the stopwatch, will end up falling. And that's GG. Team Slalom mid take the series 2-0. Congratulations to them.
Yeah, and looking pretty solid doing so. Both games, they started falling behind a little bit in the early game. Top lane kind of fell a little bit behind in a scary way, but every time Crash and Burn knew how to pull it back on a champion that generally relies on being a strong early game, win lane, win game type of champion, showed a lot of proficiency in terms of being able to come back, knowing what the strengths of that champion were. As I do believe I lost my camera, and I'm going to try and fix that in just a moment.
Yeah, and kind of as you were saying, and as you're going through this, like, dang it, I was too distracted by the camera stuff to actually remember what you were saying. I'm sorry. But like, here's the thing. Okay, so we will be able to get an interview in with the.
There we go.
Yeah, we will be able to get an interview in with the team captain of the winning team in Team Slalom mid, and I am very excited for that. So let's talk a little bit more about this game as we get that set up logistically. What kind of stuck out to you as to how Team Slalom mid was able to get back in?
Just being able to make engages and making them intelligently. You're looking at a composition that it has a lot of great tools for engage and a bunch of team fight power between the Taric and the Amumu ultimates. Just lots of AoE for both enemy team and ally team. So it is kind of a no-brainer of just like hit Bandage Toss, hit Curse of the Sad Mummy, hit the Cosmic Insight, or not Cosmic Insight, sorry. Cosmic Radiance, to just protect your entire team and just win the team fight off of that. Battlefly didn't have that. They had a lot of, AoE in the Brand and the Misfortune and the Alawi, but there was no setup for it unless Silas created it by stealing the right ultimate. There was no, like, oh, we're going to lock everybody down and then use these ultimates. So there wasn't a strong, like, oh, we can pull the trigger here. They had to kind of like force it into the right spot and hope their opponents made the right call where they could say, all right, we're going to pull the trigger on this now.
Yeah, and I honestly, like, comp difference potentially, but definitely the execution was there from the side of Team Slalom Mid. Speaking of, we have their captain, Walking Cheese, with us on the desk right now. How are you feeling after that win?
Pretty good. Pretty good. That was nice. That was good. I liked it. Honestly, I wasn't really prepared to play ADC, so I was kind of like playing passive the whole time, and I was supposed to play mid lane. So we had like a fill last minute, but I think everybody did really, really well. And then the fill was jungle, and obviously jungle killed it, and the support is like next level. So she did really great, and mid lane popped pretty hard. So I feel really good about everybody. And then of course the Riven, he always carries when it comes to Riven. So felt great. I wasn't expecting the Alawi pick to be second again, but like they did better the second time, and then I guess they got man immune, and that was kind of strange. We were worried about like the bot lane in the second match with Brand and the MF, because with Tarek Jin, and I think we did play that really well. And then in the second match, I think I did more damage than the first one, but overall, I feel pretty good. I'm pretty happy how we did, and it was a good game from both teams, I think.
So you were mentioning, right, how your support, Cosmic Meep, how she was able to really make a lot of things happen in that first game. So when you picked that Lucian Nami lane, like, were you expecting to just like hard stomp as much as you were? Like, honestly, she was smurfing that first game. Like, I don't even know what. Like go through that game with me.
Yeah, so I picked Lucian. I was really comfortable with the pick, and I knew that since we had a healer, I could play a little bit more aggro. And then because as soon as the Thresh pick locked in, she was like, "Oh, easy." So I was like, I wasn't ready for that. I was like, okay, well, I have to dodge a bunch of hooks, and obviously I got hooked a lot in that game. But I think the way that was played, she gave me a lot of confidence when we were getting in trades, because it was like, okay, I feel like I was with that. I was like, oh, we have a Nami, and then being able to, I was able to sustain lane a lot longer than I thought I was, and the whole time I was just farming, right? It's farm simulator for me, and then Nami just going off on the other sides of the map and really supporting the Akali and stuff in those fights when they came in, and that's how we were able to like really survive all the Hecarim ganks, I think, and then just a really good map awareness, I think, on her side, letting you know when the ganks are coming and stuff. So, just all around good player, I think, and really popped off there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you guys worried about the Alawi kind of coming through again after the first game where it started going a little rough, and then you kind of had to like pull it back?
Yeah, I mean, we kept the main thing with Alawi is like the old. It can like get like an ace on a team, so that was the main thing that we were worried about. And every time Alawi ulted, I think every time we pulled out, it kind of put Alawi in a bad position. So that's kind of how we dealt with it every time. On a 1v1 level, I was okay with it as long as I keep my distance and dodge the tentacles. But I think we did it. We played around the Alawi ult, which is the right move there, and I think that's how we were able to not let it get to us and like tilt us in a sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, right, like game number 2, the Riven ended up falling up behind much further than in game number 1, right? Crash and Burn had a much tougher path, but then you were able to turn things around. I believe a fight around mid lane where the Riven just got a double kill all of a sudden. Maybe you can walk us through that one if you can remember.
Yeah, so I believe what happened was, I mean, we came in and stunned everybody. First of all, the movement with the flash hook, that shit's crazy, and came in and got the stun, and I think because I did enough damage as Jin, Riven just cleaned up everything there. I don't know if I was there in that fight, but I do remember every time that Riven got the kills, it was just easy cleanup as soon as the ult was popped, which is really good. So I think it was just like keeping a good mental in those situations, just knowing which enemy to hit first.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but it was great. I kudos to the other team as well. It was awesome.
Yeah, that was a really fun game too, especially to watch in a cast. So now some questions unrelated to the game. So can you tell us a little bit about your company Slalom Build and kind of what you do there, or what your team does there?
Yeah, so at Slalom, we do a lot of different stuff related to cloud computing, and we offer build as a service, which is just basically building full apps for mid-level companies. And we work on a lot of various different projects, and it's pretty great getting a lot of exposure to different technologies. Myself, I'm quality engineering, so more on the QE side. A lot of the people on our team are software development and data and analytics. And then we're spread across the different build centers that we have in the U.S. Some in Chicago, I think, and I'm in Houston, and I believe I can't remember. I think Seattle is the other one also. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a consulting firm, really great company.
Gotcha. And can you tell us a little bit about your charity, why you chose them, the National Ovarian Cancer Coalition?
I've raised money for them before, and we usually know where the money goes, and it's a really great cause. I think knowing people that have been through that, and it's just something that was close to me, and I knew one to go with, and I was glad the team was able to agree to use that as a charity. Spread awareness and hope for a cure.
And that's very admirable. Thousand, do you have any more questions here?
I don't think so. I think we kind of hit everything.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us, and thank you for the games. Do you have any anything to say, any shout outs you want to give before we finish up here?
Shout out to the team. Shout out to Slalom Build, and we look forward to playing again. And shout out to Haggle for setting this up for us as well.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us on the desk. That said, from everyone here at Corporate Esports Association, the admins, league staff, production crew, which is, myself and Thousand, and everyone in between, my name is PhiNick, joined here on the desk by Thousand Eyes, and we will see you next week. Playoffs, baby.